Alrighty, let's get this great court trial over with. From where we last left off. I don't know, man. I mean, in all honesty, with how it goes over 2 hours in, because I recorded like two parts for the great court trial, whether Natsuki is the culprit or not. My lack of commentary just shows that I'm just baffled. I'm pretty baffled of how Erica handled this, especially with the when she puts her ear towards the thin wall to see whether to confirm Badler's alibi, to see if he's safely asleep. So it's not like he goes to the cousin's room to see, just go like see if he's asleep. No, this, but still pretty weird, I can say. And yeah, this right here is it's not looking good for Beatrice. It's down to I think 2 to 3 possibilities. I could be wrong, but it's wild. Anyway, I don't want to go into further explanation. As Erica swaggered around the cathedral, she arrogantly touted her scientific knowledge. Not only she has the knowledge to that, no wonder she's an intellectual rapist. She had thorough knowledge of all the chemicals in Kinzo's study and had used them to conduct a scientific investigation, which had now been acknowledged and made into a red truth by Burnt Castle. She didn't explain the details, but she had obtained results that were convincing even without the red truth. Collecting fingerprints with aluminum powder, component analysis of the mud under someone's shoe, and various chemical reactions from the clinging rainwater. Erica just wandered into someone else's study several times, and used several chemicals however she pleased, all without asking the family's permission. However, no one could fault her for this. The pieces couldn't hinder any action the detective might take for the investigation. That's the power of the detective's authority. Yeah, she could... Yeah, detective's authority is equivalent to she does whatever she wants with the place of the mansion and the guest house, as long as she solves the whatchamacallit, the riddle, or as long as she solves the case, you know. However you can, word it.
次より探偵を名乗る者は決して客人として迎えぬよう出会う者たちに忠告しよう。
それがよろしいかと思います。探偵に雨宿りを許すなんて吹きつきあまりないことなんですから。以上から現時の控え室へ至り犯行を行うのが可能なのもまた24時から午前1時までであることが証明されたわ。そしてさらにエリカの調査によって現時にもいとこ部屋へ至るのが不可能であることが証明されたわ。
It had already been made clear in red that after transferring the phone call to Natsuhi, Genji had gone straight back to the waiting room. And because of Erika's scientific investigation, further red had been added, saying, Genji never left the mansion after 2400 hours. Because of this, it's been made clear that Genji couldn't have reached the guest house, much less the cousin room. Genji has an alibi. Yep. Oh, I was right. We were down to 2 to 3 possibilities. And now it's 2. How fucked can this be?
残るのはクラウスと夏日だけだわ。
Patchwork Chimera.
それ以外の全員のアリバイが証明されちゃったじゃない。
There's a really different look on her face. I just noticed that for the past, like, part or two. Natsuki's mouth flapped open and shut like a suffocating goldfish. And that's an accurate analogy. Appropriate analogy. Natsuki's mind was blank and spinning out of control, and she felt as though she really would suffocate.
後ろ宮夏日。
Yeah, this is not fit for ones that have anxiety.
最後にチャンスをあげるの。すべての犯行はあなたの夫の仕業だと自ら告白なさい。バカな。私が夫に濡れ衣を着せるような女に見えますか。ベアト、夏日は拒否したわ。そしてあなたにも同じチャンスを。分かっているでしょ。それともまさかクラウスが行方不明であるのをいいことに悪魔の証明でごまかしきれるつもりじゃないわよね。
Is it not possible that Kraus is in the mansion committed the crime? Yeah, where the hell did Kraus went? That's what I want to know. I thought he was killed off, but no, it's just his body was missing. I mean, he was muffling earlier. Beato realized that they were rapidly approaching the end of this battle. Normally, Beato should have been able to argue against these alibis of Erika's in several ways, using the blue truth. However, all of those alibis had been accepted by Burn Castle and Lambda Delta as red truths, and Beato no longer had any room to argue.
まるであの魔女どもがそうなるように曲解してるみてえじゃないか。
そうですね。ゲームマスターのラムダデルタ卿が納得したなら、その真実の真贋は問われない。最後に残った真実に基づかれ、続く世界が紡がれる。その最後の真実が本当の真実とどれほどかけ離れていようとも。
クラウスおじさんが犯人のわけない。おじさんは何者かに監禁されてるんだぞ。いや、そうと夏日おばさんを電話でうまく騙した可能性も否定できないが。
Oh yeah, the phone call. They didn't even mention that yet.
バトラ君は夏日とクラウスを疑っていますか？
それは。
Well, go on.
エリカの真実は卑劣な構築ですが正当です。
Coward.
魔女と結託しているとはいえ赤き真実で認められています。つまり嘘だけで構築した偽の真実では断じてありません。つまりエリカの真実でも筋が通るのです。夏日やクラウスが犯人という真実も全くありえなくはありません。それが虚構であろうとも筋は通る。
So no matter the error narrative, it makes sense logically. Facts and logic.
真実と同じ価値を持った虚構なのです。その二つの真実のどちらを信じるか、それはバトラ君自身が自ら決めることです。
What can you tell from right and wrong? That it. Yeah, that's the thing, though, right? That is up for other people to decide and make their own judgment.
いや、俺は夏日おばさんとクラウスおじさんを信じるぜ。確かに金でトラブルがあるのは知ってる。
They were already in money trouble from the get-go.
だがそれでも俺はおばさんたちが犯人だと信じたくない。いや、信じられない。
That's what I thought too. Like, as a slight, tiny little thought, is that what if Kraus? There's no way. That's weird. Jessica, how did Jessica? If they're the culprits, then how can they kill Jessica even though it's their daughter? Unless it's part of a setup and just so they don't want just to cover their ass even further.
これだけ赤で着実に追い詰められたこの盤面上でどうやったら夏日を逃がせますか。
わからねえ。だが絶対に屈したくない。夏日おばさんは卑劣な罠にはめられただけだ。エリカの推理はまさにそれに踊らされたもの。だからエリカは意図してかせずしてか本当の犯人の片棒を担いでるんだ。エリカが夏日おばさんを犯人だと告発し、そしてこの場にいる誰もがそうだと信じても、ならばこそ俺だけは夏日おばさんを信じたい。
If everyone believes it's her, will that become the truth? If everyone accepts a lie, will that also become the truth? Will that become the truth? Must an honest person be dragged up to the guillotine, all alone and taunted by liars?
俺は嫌だぜ。
Oh wow, that line right here. The must an honest person be dragged to the guillotine all alone and taunted by liars. That is so relatable.
誰も夏日おばさんを信じないなら、むしろ俺が信じてやる。
Because Jesus Christ, even the innocent can be punished. But that is the harsh reality we have to put through.
本当の真実は全員が納得したら決まるものじゃない。徹底的に双方の可能性を検討して、その上で至るもんなんだ。だからこの法廷は嘘っぱちだ。この法廷は夏日おばさんを犯人だとでっち上げるためにしか存在しない。
That's what I thought too. Like, it's just nothing. It's just whatever gets, whoever. Everything about this, like is what I said in my IRL friend that already played the game. It's like this. It's just whoever gets the best narrative. And this is Natsuki was just set up in order to be belittled, to the point that she's a culprit.
ベアとは夏日を必死に弁護していますよ。
In the fit game, that is like controlled instead of considering that Beato is already vegetable from the Golden Land. Burncastle and Lambda Delta hijacked the game board for the fit game just to belittle Beato Ricci as well. So
違う。ベアトがしているのは神戸。言い訳でしかない。この法廷では相手の主張に抗うだけじゃ戦えないんだ。だからかつての俺は一方的にベアトにやり込められていたんだ。エリカに勝つのに必要なのは奴の推理のあらを探すことじゃない。奴とは異なる別の真実を見つけ出し、それをあのゲームの支配者ラムダデルタに エリカの真実より正しいと認めさせることなんだ。
ベルンカステル教の示した赤き真実に抵触せずに、夏日が犯人でない真実を紡ぎ出せますか？
わからない。
That's a good question.
だが俺が夏日おばさんが犯人だと信じない限り絶対に別の真実がある。仮に事件の犯人は魔女ということになってもいい。正しくない真実によって夏日おばさんに濡れ衣を着せられるくらいなら。
夏日が犯人であるとこれほどの赤き真実を突きつけられても、あなたは信じないのですね。
ああ、
Oh, you made it up just.
物事ってのは常に信じるやつと信じないやつがいるべきなんだ。たとえいくら証拠が積み重ねられようとも誰かが潔白を信じなきゃならない。世の中には証拠じゃ示せない真実なんていくらでもあるはずなんだ。みんながそうだと言うからきっとそうなんだなんてことを俺は二度と受け入れたくない。
How can you be sure that there's nothing on the backside of the moon if you've never seen it? Is there some reason that you have to believe it? Until you see the back of the moon with your own eyes, you can deny neither the possibility that nothing's there at all, nor the possibility that there's a thriving culture of space bunnies. You should never assume something is the truth until you actually check it. This court is a malicious thing, trying to force a single interpretation on the truth that cannot be checked. I believe there was a civilization on the backside of the moon, but that was in elementary school and I was made fun of and laughed at, so I thought it was embarrassing to think that a civilization lived on the moon, and I threw away that belief, quote unquote. I've been told by a book my mom read me that rabbits lived on the backside of the moon. Moon rabbits. So I believed that for a long, long time. But when everyone said it was wrong, I abandoned that truth without even trying to check it. Even without evidence, I abandoned the truth I believed in. And now everyone is starting to believe that Aunt Natsuhi is the culprit, even though no decisive evidence has been shown. There's no even prior demonstration as well. Even without evidence, Erica's words sound reasonable, so they're probably the truth? Is that why you're throwing away your belief, quote-unquote, that Aunt Natsuhi is innocent, despite a lack of proof?
誰も信じないなら俺が信じる。本当の真実は否定と肯定の2つの目で同時に見た時にしか浮かび上がらないと俺は信じる。奴らが夏日おばさんが犯人だといくら信じさせようとも俺は犯人じゃないと信じる。それを捨てない。
わかりました。ではあなたに私から一つだけ赤き真実を授けましょう。
Really? Is that even allowable, even though you two are just spectating?
私が真の意味で戦う意志を持ったあなたに送るたった一つの力です。
And, you know, that's the one thing. So, if everyone believes that if no one is going to believe that Natsuki is innocent, then I will. That's the battler's mentality.
力。
有限の魔女ワルギリアの名において、いえ先代の魔女ベアトリーチェとしてあなたに赤き真実を託します。後宮夏日は犯人ではない。
This is the power given to Badler.
司法取引 クラウスが犯人だと認めたなら、エリカは夏日に対する追及を中断。以後は所在不明のクラウスが犯人ということで追及を。
どうするベアト。このままじゃ夏日やばいわよ。司法取引を受ける？後宮家の名誉とやらを放棄するなら今回はドローにしてあげようっていうベルンの甘い配慮よ。
Kraus is currently missing, and it's unknown whether he's alive or dead. Like Kinzo, he's no different than a cat in a box that has disappeared into the mists of the island. A cat inside a box is unfixed, and no interpretation of it can be denied. It is the root of endless interpretations, the true source of the Endless Witch's power. In other words, no matter how much Berncastle claims that Kraus is the culprit, she can't make that the sole truth. In other words, the Kraus culprit theory and the witch theory can be in almost perfect balance. It would mean making the game a draw. Berncastle was tempting her. This was cajolery, offering her a second chance if she abandons the honor of the family she swore to protect, and consents to a fragment that stomps all over that honor. There is no room for false confidence. For Beato, to lose is to die. In this game, she should always choose a draw unless she has an overwhelming advantage. To either die in honor or to dishonor the Ushiromiya family.
夫を犯人呼ばわりなどさせません。
This is a very hard decision of a bargain. Jesus.
夫は後宮家次期当主。後宮家の栄光を受け継ぐ唯一の人間です。その人間に犯罪者の汚名を着せるなど断じて許しません。良いのか夏日。クラウスを疑ることを放棄するならもうそなたしか残らぬぞ。そなた以外の全員のアリバイの証明、すなわちヘンペルのカラス。
You know, this is the weird part, right?
何の証拠もなくそなたを犯人だと断定できてしまう。私しか残らなければ何だというのですか。私は後宮夏日。逃げも隠れもしない。私は潔白です。そして心に片翼のわしを刻む高潔なる当主代行です。
But this is the weird part, like what happened with Kraus though? They never really show whether he has an alibi or not. Like
私を罵りたければ罵りなさい。あざけりたければあざけりなさい。誰にも虚実で私の名誉を傷つけることなどできはしないのです。
with a dignified voice, Natsuki stated her case openly before the witches above her. However, this response of hers might have been exactly what Berncastle had intended.
夏日は取引を拒否。ベアトは分かってるわね。夏日が特定された瞬間にラムダは判決を下すわよ。その瞬間に魔女幻想は否定され、あなたはつゆと消える。夏日のくだらない意地に地獄の底まで付き合うつもり？
リーチェ、あんたはよく戦ったわ。ここが潮時よ。夏日を説得してなんとかギリギリの妥協策を。
ラムダデルタ教もベルンカステル教も真の敵はお嬢様ではなく退屈そのものです。このゲームをまだ繰り返し遊びたいはず。お嬢様が譲歩するところを見せれば喜んでそれを受け入れ、次のゲームに仕切り直すはずです。
次のゲームに仕切り直され、このゲームの夏日を、このかけらの夏日をどうなるというのか。そんなの気にしてる場合じゃないでしょ。夏日なんて所詮駒よ。このゲームで取り除かれても次のゲームではまた登場するわ。
That's what I'm really curious what's gonna happen if Natsuhi, if she's gonna get, wait, you mean like removed permanently and Natsuhi's not gonna ever show up? And she's gonna be replaced by someone else instead?
しかし、お嬢様はそういうわけには参りませんぞ。今回のゲームでベルンカステル教の手の内は分かったはずです。それを生かし次回のゲームで勝利を目指す方が現実的です。ここはベルンカステル教の取引に乗るのが唯一無二の上策かと。
くだらないプライドは捨てなさい。カスパロフもディープブルーも無敗じゃないわ。最後に勝率で勝者を決めるんでしょ。一つの勝負、一つの人生、一つの駒に魔女が執着したら死ぬわよ。すまぬがそういうわけにはいかなくてな。誰もが違うと言っても自分だけは信じる男の強さと、それを捨てなければならなかった男の悔しさをわらわは知っている。わらわは夏日を見捨てぬ。なぜか誰もが夏日を疑うのなら誰かが夏日を信じねばならぬからだ。真実とは疑う者と信じる者の狭間にこそ見つけ出せるからだ。わらわは見捨てぬぞ。誰もが夏日を犯人と信じるならそれでもわらわは魔女が犯人であると主張する。それが主張できるならわらわの存在価値などそれまでよ。負けられねえんだよ。真実ってのはさ、誰かが否定するもんじゃねえ。自分が疑って捨てた時に消え去るんだよ。
それがベアトの返事？
She's like, so is that your answer? Are you done with your answer?
ああ、当然拒否よ。後ろ宮クラウスは犯人にあらず。
Oh god. So you're gonna die in pride. Oh boy, this is. Oh, this is concerning. What's gonna happen afterwards? Ushiromiya Kraus is not the culprit. Other people in the mansion besides Natsuhi. Oh. Oh god.
バカだ。もう取り返しはつかないわよ。 愚か者の短期にふさわしい報いを受けなさい。奇跡の魔女ベルンカステルの名において赤き真実を語るわ。後ろ宮クラウスは犯人ではない。そしてとっくに殺されてるわ。あんたに電話で声を聞かせた直後にね。
He was killed long ago. Wait. Oh God.
そんな。
So him being captured was all part of a setup. And man, and Burncastle even did the red truth with the shit-eating grin too. That is wild. Burncastle's cruel and ruthless red blade gouged Natsuhi. It was totally merciless. Natsuki had been crushed with uncertainty, not knowing whether Kraus was alive or dead, but she had still been capable of believing that he was alive. And now, that hope, that expectation had been crushed, without any chance for a miracle. She had thrown herself into this trap out of concern for her husband's safety. She had now lost her daughter and husband and everything she had gained since marrying into the Ushiromiya family. No, even after all this, one thing still remains. If her husband has been lost, then right now she is the last person who can protect the honor of the Ushiromiya family. She still couldn't let it end here. Even wrapped up in so much sadness, Natsuki would do all she could to protect that honor with this final bit of strength.
いいえ、これで終わりよ。残りの食堂の人間は全員1時まで食堂を出ていないことは赤き真実で確定してる。つまりもう夏日以外全員のアリバイは証明されてる。
Excluding Natsuki, everyone in the mansion has an alibi. Oh. Yep, it's game over. Well, bad ending.
見事だったわ、エリカ・ベルンカステル。あなたたちは後宮夏日以外に犯行が不可能であることを証明しきったわ。主文から読み上げようかしら。被告後宮夏日は1986年10月4日24時に先に就寝すると偽り実質へ戻るふりをして午前1時までの1時間の間にジョージ、ジェシカ、マリア、ローザ、ゲンジの5人を次々殺害したわ。
主文追加。状況証拠からクラウスの殺害も追加を。
そうね。クラウスを殺せるのだってこの状況じゃ夏日以外に考えられないわ。主文を訂正するわ。午前1時までの1時間の間にクラウス、ジョージ、ジェシカ、マリア、ローザ、ゲンジの6人を次々殺害したわ。殺害可能時間はいずれも24時からの1時間の間だけ。その1時間の間にアリバイを持たない犯行の可能な人物は後宮夏日だけだった。以後ゲームは被告を真犯人として扱い進行。 また事件が人間の犯行で完全に証明されたため、無限の魔女ベアトリーチェ、当幻想法廷はあんたの存在をここに否定することを宣言するわ。
That's wild.
抗弁の機会があるけど夏日のアリバイを証明できる？もしくは夏日以外が犯人の可能性を示せる？それさえできれば夏日は黒ギリギリのグレー止まり。あんたの存在否定は今回は保留されるけど。
If Natsuki had an alibi, Beato would have shown it a long ago. In fact, wasn't the whole point of that trap to make her lose her alibi?
アリバイの証明などなくともわらわは夏日の無実を信じるぞ。そなたらが偽りの真実をどう決めつけようとな、わらわこそが真犯人である。夏日は無実である。たとえ証拠がなくとも。
真相は六軒島の夜の主、黄金のベアトリーチェだけが知っています。私は後宮夏日、夫なき今、私が後宮家の当主です。我が心、いかなる恥ずかしめにもくじけることがありません。それはなぜか、お父様が私に心に片翼のわしの紋章を刻むことをお許しくださったからです。
Pretty sure I've heard this multiple times by now.
私の心臓に刻まれた紋章と名誉をあなたの証拠とアリバイとやらはどう否定できますか？できません。私の心に刻まれた後宮家の紋章は不滅なのです。
Now that Natsuki and Beatrice had practically been placed on the guillotine, they cried out with all the strength of their determination. However, that did nothing but bring a cold smile to Lambda Delta's face. Erica had constructed a truth that Lambda Delta could accept, and no one could construct a more convincing truth to deny Erica's. In that case, the most convincing truth was swallow up everything else and become the one and only truth, quote unquote. Even if it happened to be different from the real truth, the truth of those in the past is swallowed up by the truth of those in the future. This can happen even for a mixture of truth and lies, as long as everyone acknowledges it as true.
よく吠えること。私は魔女が火あぶりになるときは命乞いを泣きわめく子が一番好きよ。あんたみたいな虚勢を張るのが一番興ざめなの。だからその虚勢を打ち砕く赤き真実を私からの最後の贈り物としてあげるわ。
何ですか？
よせベルンカステル卿、もはやそなたの望んだ真実で上書きされるであろうが、その真実と夏日の真実は相入れるはず。汚さないでやってくれ、頼む。
夏日、金蔵があんたの心に片翼のわしを刻むことをいつ許したっての？あんたの妄想の中の金蔵の言葉でしょうが、それは本当の金蔵はね、生涯ただの一度もあんたを心の底から信頼したこともないし、 あんたに紋章を許そうと思ったこともただの一度もないわ。
When that heartless announcement was made, Kinzo stood up.
夏希、耳を貸すでない。そなたの心に刻まれた紋章は誰にも汚されぬ。そなただけのものだ。後ろ宮家の最後の当主としての誇りを永劫に忘れるな。夏日。
やかましいわ。消えなさいよ。夏日のゲロカス妄想。
My God. She fucking Thanos snapped him.
消せぬぞ、我が魂は。夏日が心に紋章を刻み続ける限りな。
この嘘つき幻想が。本当の金蔵はそんなことを言わないわ。消えなさい。夏日によって美化された、夏日にとって都合のいい夏日の中の妄想の金蔵。
A bright red flash of lightning smashed Kinzo over and over again as he screamed. It smited him into pieces. Then he crumpled like a doll and sat back down in his chair as though nothing had happened. The fierce emotion had left Kinzo's face. He had truly become like a wax model, and so he would never again share kind words with Natsuki. That's right. The true Kinzo never once trusted Natsuki during his entire life. The true Kinzo never once considered allowing Natsuki to bear the one-winged eagle, because of course, Kinzo had already vanished before the start of the game. The Kinzo that appears in this game is nothing more than Natsuki's delusion. Every part of this Kinzo who believed in Natsuki and entrusted her with protecting the family honor was a phantom created by Natsuki.
哀れな女。
But it makes me wonder who was the real Kinzo at the time, if the real Kinzo wouldn't tell Natsuki this sort of thing.
後ろ宮金蔵の信頼を生涯得られなかった真実を今こそ正視しなさい。
夏日、泣くな。そなたは金蔵に後ろ宮家を託されたのであろう。
No, he didn't. Not only did he not entrust her with that, he never even said hello or met her gaze even once. This is just sad to watch. This is actually pretty sad to read through, in all honesty. Natsuki's cry was a mixture of sadness and many other emotions, and it echoed throughout the cathedral. Natsuki could no longer stop her tears. Some last faint element that had cheered her up until today, that had allowed her to endure as an Ushiromiya, as the wife to the head's representative, and as the final family head had been torn to bits. Natsuki no longer had anything left. Natsuki could no longer allow herself to even call herself an Ushiromiya. Those difficult days, those painful days, those days where she still gave everything she could for the family she'd married into despite it all. The very few happy days among these. All of these flitted through her mind one after another and disappeared. All of those once beautiful memories were then crushed by Berncastle's red truth, smashed to bits and scattered, plunged deep into her hands, and smeared red with mournful blood. It was the red of sadness and truth. It's like,
以上です。
if the tears are red, then it would be crying of blood.
ただ事件がそこに存在するだけで。古田エリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。いかがでしょうか、皆様方。
Lambda Delta clapped. Then a bit later, Berncastle also clapped, looking pleased. The expressionless wax figure-like audience followed suit, and the unshakable verdict was welcomed with a great applause. And so, the truth, quote-unquote, of this tale was decided. Right now, no humans exist on this island except for those in the parlor. In this parlor. And with one exception, it has been shown that none of them have committed murder. And the culprit is among these people.
おいおい。となると、決定的じゃねえか。
魔女が犯人で魔法で殺人を犯したわけでない限りね。あんたなの？あんたがジョージを、主人を殺したの？どうしてよ？どうして？
私は殺していません。私は何も。
And now we reach to the exact conclusion that happened just like in the prologue. In a panic, and with a voice that was far from calm, in a manner that was, to put it coldly, unsightly, and Natsuki did not deny the suspicion placed upon her. However, there was no longer any way around it. She stood up, brushed back her long hair, pointed at Aunt Natsuki, and said it one more time.
あなたが犯人です。後宮夏日さん。
Oh my god, this is just like at the very start of the first chapter before. Yep. We were 14 chapters in, everything. We are back to where the prologue had started. Red-faced and tear-streaked, Eva walked up to Natsuki and grabbed her by the collar. Then, wordlessly, she slapped Natsuki's cheek. Natsuki, who had never been slapped in her life, was shocked by the taste of iron, which she was feeling for the first time. It turned into a scuffle between Eva and Natsuki. Battler immediately tried to stop them, but Eva planted a sharp knee into Battler's gut and he doubled over.
返してよ！ジョージと夫を返してよ！どうして殺したのよ！この人殺し！人殺し！
Sobbing, Eva kicked Natsuki, who had fallen to the ground, over and over. Badler tried once more to cut in and stop him, but he was brushed aside. And after that, no one tried to stop her. Repeating her son and husband's names over and over, Eva kicked Natsuki and kicked her. Then she started grabbing whatever her eyes fell upon and throwing it. Natsuki was hit with a steaming teacup and a can of black tea, whose tea leaves fell out all over her. She was kicked, her hair pulled and dragged up, her cheeks slapped so many times that it started to swell. No one tried to stop it. It wasn't because they were worried about Eva kicking them too. It was because they thought it was an appropriate act of retribution for a person who had lost her beloved son and husband. A proper retribution, a proper truth. Everyone in the parlor accepted that Natsuki was the culprit. They accepted the truth Erika claimed. So it became a proper truth, and Natsuki was designated as the proper culprit. She had already lost the husband and daughter who might have protected her, and even Kinzo, who should have given her a final bit of strength, had already vanished like a bubble in the ocean of delusions. No longer would anyone protect her. No longer would anyone believe her. So she was now the true culprit. Eva's shoulders heaved with her heavy breathing. Apparently, her anger still hadn't abated. Erika patted her shoulder and made Eva take a step back. Of course, this wasn't to protect Natsuki but violence. It was to further humiliate Natsuki now that she had been branded as the culprit.
夏日さん、私は3つの謎の2つを解きました。フーダニット、ハウダニット、そして最後の謎、ホワイダニットは犯人が自ら告白しなくてはならないと決まっています。どうかミステリーのルールに従い告白を。
The why done it refers to the motive.
これが三流ミステリーなら、そろそろ夏日さんが高笑いを始めて罪を認め、悲しい過去話を始めるタイミングなのですが、まさかそれまで私がしなくてはなりませんか？
私は犯人じゃありません。誰か信じて。私は何者かに夫を人質に取られ脅迫されて罠にはめられただけなんです。
Natsuki, with her hair a mess and her face red and tear-streaked, protested to everyone, but no one met her gaze. Because it has already been resolved that Natsuki was the culprit. Because Lambda Delta had acknowledged that the culprit of the tale was Natsuki and had it woven it that way, none of the pieces would pay any heed to Natsuki's, to the culprit's quote-unquote words.
夏日は犯人ではない。我こそは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ。そなたらが夜の闇に怯えた年頃よりはるかに前から君臨する六軒島の夜の支配者。なぜわらわの罪とせぬか。なぜ夏日を疑うのか。わらわを認めよ。すべてはわらわの犯行ぞ。人間が犯人ということなど断じてあってはならぬわ。
The illusion of the witch had already been crushed, and Beato's voice didn't reach anyone. The verdict had already been made. Everything had been decided.
聞こえてないわよ、誰にもね。あんたは幻、ただの幻想。お帰りなさい、ただの肖像画に。金蔵の幻想を
親族が共有することによって生まれた儚い幻の魔女。それがこの世界の選んだ真実なのよ。さあ大ラムダデルタ教、この魔女を語るおこがましき愚かな幻想を今こそ葬り去りたまえ。
さようならベアトリーチェ。あなたを魔女にしたのは私のお友達になれるか、私の退屈を紛らわしてくれるか、そのどちらかを期待したものよ。そしてあなたは期待に応えてくれたわ。後者のね。
わらわは魔女であるわ。ラムダデルタ教に認められずとも魔女であるわ。
私が後見人にならなかったらそれを信じることもできなかったくせに。さあ、あなたはこれでゲームオーバーよ。あなたを葬る方法はあなたのゲーム版のルールに従ってあげる。あなたのゲームでは敗者はどうなるんだっけ。
すでにベアトが過去のゲームで一度はっきりとそれを見せてくれてるわ。生きた肉の塊にしてヤギの晩餐会に放り込んで食い散らかされるのよ。ふさわしい最後だわベアトリーチェ。高慢ちきなあんたの断末魔が聞きたくてはるばるこんなところまでやってきたのだから。
Oh, it's Jover. One by one, a massive number of goat attendants slipped out from the shadows and pillars and began to fill the cathedral. The goats paid no attention to Natsuki, who was seated in the center, but the crowd completely enveloped her. From Beato's point of view up on the balcony, it probably looked like a huge boiling pot of goats.
So であるな。もとよりそういう契約であったな。
そうよ。あなたが私を楽しませることができなくなったらその身をもって私の退屈を慰めるのが私たちの契約。さあ、その女から魔女の座を奪いヤギの釜へ放り込みなさい。
Suddenly, there were goats standing right behind Beato. They lifted her up roughly.
良い悲鳴を聞かせてね。あんたはこの日のために寝かせてきたワインよ。
ならばそれを聞かせぬのがわらわの最後の一子であるわ。
やった、言わせたそれを捨て台詞にしてくれる子が聞かせてくれる悲鳴が最上級なのよ。
Made her see. Oh boy.
もちろんベアトリーチェ。
It's Jover. The goats carrying Beato no longer viewed her as their master. After holding her above the pot of clambering goats, which were snorting heavily in anticipation, they threw Beato's slender body into the air. All at once, the squirming goats faced the heavens and raised their arms. It was almost as though they would be able to forget their pain for just a short while by devouring her flesh. As she flew through the air, Beatos tried to smile boldly, but it was so stiff that it seemed even more pathetic, much to Burn Castle's amusement. When Beato fell into the pot, the goats caught her. Of course, they didn't do it gently. The arms of countless goats pulled at her flesh to keep it for themselves. They tried to tear her to bits. It didn't have to be flesh. Hair, fingernails, shoes, even bits of her dress worked just fine. The mouths of those goats were the gateway into hell. However, Beato was too big to enter into that gateway, so they had to chew and tear her into bits small enough to fit into it. Beato let out a bold laugh. She laughed from inside the pot of goats. However, her expression was very different from the one she had wanted. It was an expression of not of a witch, but of a single human yelling in her death throes. Then the sea of goats parted. Dalinar leapt forward, slicing all the goats in her path with a single flash of her long sword. It was a clean slice, like cutting through butter. The goats were surprised by Dalinar's sudden appearance and stepped back. In the center, Beatrice cowered in tatters, sobbing.
何の真似？異端審問官ドラノール。
That's weird. Dalinar was on is supposedly Erica's furniture or of the sort, but why did she have to interfere out of all things?
恐れながら申し上げます。この判決に意義のある者がおります。そやつの名は後宮バトラです。
Alright, because Battler is granted the power to make an objection, and I'm actually curious. Out of all things, whenever Beatrice is like close to extreme danger, it is always the Battler, becoming the hero to step in for once. But I don't know. It's all of the goats stared at Battler.
当法廷の判決に何が不服で？再審請求にふさわしい新しい証拠を、真実をお持ちなのでしょうね。
I get it. Dalinar is offering me a helping hand. If she hadn't jumped in here, it'll all be over. And now I fully understand how I'm supposed to fight. But because I understand how, I am unable to fight right now. After all, I can't win by simply countering Erica's truth. If I want to deny her truth, I'll need to present a different one. And I still don't have a clue what that truth is.
時に癒せぬものはありません。時を費やせど至れぬ真実もまたありません。しかし全ての法廷は真実を決定するのに刻限を設けます。
This sounds like Golden Slaughter track, but it's like revised or something, or just a remix. I mean, what did they call it? Yeah, resurrected replayer.
そしてその刻限までに至れぬ真実はもはや真実とはなり得ないのです。
Yeah, I know that. By now, everyone is certain that Aunt Natsuki's the culprit. It might be too late now, even for the real truth. Aunt Eva's violence will probably go unstopped, and no one is even thinking about protecting Aunt Natsuki. It's no longer a situation where we can say, oh, the truth will eventually be found. And in this world, The time remaining to expose the truth is very short. It's already 2400 at the game's end. The police won't come. The truth won't be revealed. Only the truth decided upon here and now will remain. I slowly stood up, walked in front of Beato, and faced Dalinor. I have no plan. I don't know the truth. However, if I don't jump in now, I won't get another chance to fight. The red used by Erika's group is mercilessly... The red used by Erika's group is mercilessly strict. I seriously doubt that I can put together a truce where Aunt Natsuki isn't the culprit without violating that red.
何を頼りない顔をしているのです。情けない男です。
ちくしょう。
バトラー。
お前を殺すのは俺だ。その約束を俺は守りたい。なのに今の俺には何の策もない。
良いのだ。この世に真実などない。それは後から作られ上書きされるのだ。本当の真実なんてどこにもないのだ。
ドラノール、素敵なシナリオだわ。やはりお姫様の処刑にはナイトが現れないと面白くない。そしてその眼前で弾頭を見せてやるのに勝るものなし。古き駒と用済みのプレイヤーたちをまとめて葬り去りなさい。
良いです。ライベルンカステル教に栄光あれ。我こそは首席異端審問官ドラノール・エノックス。
That face, though.
いざ参られい、後ろ宮バトラ。
こうなりゃ破れかぶれだ。俺のわらがけ見せてやる。
Well, I think this is a good time to stop from here. Alright. Next part. Oh boy. 3 hours. Me having to skim through a freaking great court trial. And now we got next part. Let's see how Balor can defend Beatrice's honor at a time like this. Will he win or will he lose? To where, like, both are he'll also become the victim as part of the game piece, of course. So, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.